are you? I'm doing well.
So cold.
Good afternoon and welcome back to the NCAA Women's Final Four pre-championship press conference. Joining us on stage are the South Carolina Gamecocks. We will hear an opening statement from Coach Staley and then follow up with questions from Raven Johnson and Te-Hina Poapao. Coach, if we could start with your opening statement.
Just congratulations to the other three teams that are here in the Final Four. We are super excited to be here. We are representing the SEC, us in Texas, and proud that we could represent our league in such a fashion because we certainly competed all year long, and the reason why we're here is because of the competitiveness of our conference.
Okay, we'll start with questions for student athletes. We'll go to the back, right next to you. Yep.
Thank you. Hi, ladies. Judy Gadsden from WIS in Columbia. Raven and Te-Hina, I know that a lot of the former Gamecocks are still very critical to this program. People like Markeisha Grant have been working with you all on building resiliency. Can you all talk a little bit about the value of those relationships and how it has helped you to bounce back through difficult moments throughout the season?
We'll start with Te-Hina and then we'll go to Raven.
I mean, relationships are important no matter where you go in life. And to be able to, talk to alumni and former Gamecocks, it helps our program a lot because they've been through it. They've been through the early years when Coach Staley was coaching them. And, they speak life into us. And she's helped us during the season with team bonding and just bringing us closer together and just having that, that bond with everyone else on the team. And it's helped us greatly, and we learned from it. And we've continued to use those team bonding moments to help us in the long run and experience like this.
Yeah, what she said, even Khadijah's section, she tells us a lot of that she's been here before and that she was telling us about her experience and stuff like that. And like she said, alumni, they come back and they just don't come back. They also practice against us. So just to go against them, it means a lot, honestly, and get a lot of knowledge from them.
We're going to stay to our left. Ben, if you could raise your hand, they can get the microphone to you.
Ben Pickman with The Athletic back here. For Te-Hina, just, the coaches talk a lot about habits involved, team habits with you guys. I guess, what would you say are the habits of this team and how closely do you feel like you guys are sticking to them and or swaying from them?
That's a good question. I think we've done a really good job with recovering. Our habits have been way better for that because we, play a tight schedule and we've been playing games and we do cryo now with some of the girls do cryo, they do Normatec, they get their body worked on. I think we've done a really good job with that and just being able to get our bodies ready for a 40-minute battle and shout out to the program and to everyone else who's been involved to help us with that and just being able to know that recovery and rest is a big part of March and that we've done a really good job with that in that aspect.
Yep, a lot of us hate cryo and ice baths, especially me. But now it helps. It helps our body a lot. So
We can come to the front, Jalen. If you could raise your hand higher so they can get the microphone to you.
Hi, Jalen Johnson, Rising Media Stars. You guys have been affectionately known as Dawn's Daycare for a couple years now, the program. But what is it about the way that Coach Staley coaches you guys and the rest of your coaches that allows you to be 100% yourself, even if it does mean it's a little childish?
Coach tells us when we get a little too loose, like before the SEC championship. She told us we were a little too loose and that we need to tighten up. So she knows when we're loose and she knows when we're right. So I think it's a balance, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, she's done a really great job this year. I think a little last year she was learning about it. She knows that our attention spans are very short and that she got to get it on when everyone's paying attention, and that she tells the coaches that hey, they're gonna go wild in a minute or so. So get through your point. And she's just done a really good job balancing it and helping us out. And she's joined us, part of our childish moments as well. Sometimes she starts it as well. But it's just a really good balance. I mean, that's what the type of coach you want to play for, and she does a really good job locking us in. And then she, tells us, the seniors and the leaders, like, hey, get your team to tighten up. They're a little too loose. And we, relay that message to the team. And we've done a better job. But I know that we can do a little better. But we're just going to be who we are. And she accepts us for who we are as well.
We'll shift to our right.
Kirk Bowles from the Houston Chronicle. To both young ladies, I don't know if you guys can be too familiar with each other, having played 3 times already. Is this going to come down to who's got the best defense, and are these the 2 best defenses in women's college basketball?
It's going to come down to heart, effort, and controlling the things that we can control, which is attitude and effort. Obviously, we can't control how the officials, do the game. We can't control everything that's outside of that, but we can control our effort and attitude. And, whoever's going to win tomorrow is going to determine who wants it more and who just wants to, pay attention to the details and be there for your team, and who's going to compete and, just compete for a 40-minute battle.
Going to shift to our left. If you could raise your hand in the green so we can get the microphone to you.
Eden Lassie, Hoops HQ. This is for both of you guys. On the flip side of that, like when, coach needs to tell you guys to kind of tighten up because you're being a little too goofy, like how does the sort of goofy silliness like help you guys keep things from getting too heavy, especially in a program that has such high expectations?
We can start with Raven.
I think it helps us, honestly, because we, like Plies said that, we need to get off TikTok or whatever. I think some of us, we need TikToks, but if you eat, sleep, breathe basketball, you're honestly going to be depressed. You're going to be distressed about it, honestly. So I think it helps us, give us a little laughter, makes us enjoy things other than just basketball. So, I mean, we make each other laugh. Like, a lot of us are funny. Like, oh, my gosh, she's funny, honestly. So, so we just make each other laugh, and, you enjoy moments like that. I mean, we're sisters, and it's more than just basketball, honestly.
Yeah, I thought that was really well put. It's more than basketball. It's a family thing, relationship thing. And, when basketball is done, what you're going to have, and you're going to have relationships. You're going to have people in your corner who you can talk to and connect with. And you're going to, have a really good bond for life. And it's just something that, relieves pressure off us as well. It's something to take your mind off of basketball and knowing that we're all experiencing the same thing. Why not just share it together? And so I'm definitely going to, cherish all the relationships I've created from this program and the girls. And we're just enjoying the moment, staying in the moment, and just being present with each other.
Going to move to our right. Rob, if you could raise your hand.
Rob Knox from the Next. Raven, this is specifically for you. Throughout your career, what what have you been most proud of your growth off the basketball court during your career at South Carolina?
Honestly, I think overcoming adversity, and honestly, I used to be like a person that like listened to naysayers and stuff like that of how they critique me and stuff like that. So I'm learning how not to care, and learning that I'm a winner, like Coach said, and I do whatever it takes to win. So overcoming adversity and just know who I am and not put myself in a box.
Going to stay to our right. You can raise your hand, then we'll come over to our left.
Coach Trey from SB Nation. This is for you, Miss Poapao. You picked it up against Duke in the second half. How important is leadership, and how would that transition now in the Final Four?
It's super important. I mean, when your teammates are telling you to shoot the ball, you got to shoot the ball. And I felt like I didn't shoot the ball as much as I needed to before then. And they just needed me to step up and be there for them, and that's what I had to do, especially wanting to win. And so you got to do whatever it takes to win, and they told me to shoot the ball, so I went out there and shoot the ball.
Go to our left. If you could raise your hand, he's standing right next to you.
Beth Wool from Fox Carolina in Greenville. The ESPN crew told us this morning that Dawn has been trying to point you guys in the direction of harnessing that underdog mentality coming into this weekend. What does that mean to you, and what does that look like this year when so many people think, well, South Carolina, the dynasty and defending champs, how do you become an underdog? How do you guys harness that mentality?
Raven Johnson.
Honestly, I think I don't look at ourselves as underdogs. We're South Carolina. I feel like it's not a lot of. It kind of put a little pressure off of us a little bit. I think we're just gonna come and bring our A game. I mean, all of us wants to win. Everybody here wants to win. We know they're gonna come and bring whatever they have against us. So I think we just need to listen to our coaches, because their game plan and execute what they have for us.
We're going to move to our right.
Hi, I'm Gigi with Overtime. And if you could pick, this for both of y'all, and if y'all could pick one fit from Coach Staley's closet, what would y'all pick?
We're going to start with Raven.
One fit you could choose.
I wear
She wears too
much,
many.
Too
I
much
don't
clothes for probably
yeah.
these two.
She,
They don't have an
Nah, facts,
appreciation.
nah,
they don't have an
facts. She
appreciation for
got
fully
me. She got
clothed.
me, yeah.
They don't have these two.
Nah. Just her, just her.
no.
No, but one that sticks out was probably her denim fit this year. I don't know. I think it was a couple games ago, but the denim fit was nice.
Take our next. Oh, I'm sorry. Raven, did you answer? I apologize.
I was just saying all her Louis Vuitton stuff.
Yeah, all Louis
I need
Vuitton.
that.
Yeah, them some hard fits.
Yeah.
We're going to take our next question from the back.
Hey, Whitney Sullivan with WLTX in Columbia. So every team has its own heartbeat. What's the heartbeat of this team?
Te-Hina, Poapao.
No.
Good.
Yeah.
I'll help you decide. Te-Hina, go first, please.
That's a good question. Perseverance. I think we experienced a lot of things we didn't experience last year, and every time we, lost or did something, we learned from that opportunity and grown from that opportunity. I thought that heartbeat was just perseverance and how we got tougher, and our toughness is, going through battles together. And I'm just really proud of this team, and we know that the job's not done, so I'm gonna say perseverance.
We're going to stay to our left. We're going to go to this third row, then we'll come back up to the front.
Hey guys, Joe Machico with the Big Spur. The seatbelt gang is something you guys have really latched on to defensively. I believe both of you guys are members now. Where did that start? And then just walk me through how cool it is to be connected on the defensive end of the floor this time of year.
Let's start with Raven. Sorry.
It originally started with J.C. Horns with football. He called himself the seatbelt game, and then Dejanay Carrington during the WNBA season, she did like something like this, and she said seatbelt game. So me and Breezy, we was like, we locked down offenders. Like, we need to be a part of seatbelt game. So we just started, saying we're seatbelt game. And Pal had like 4 blocks.
Had my little defensive moment,
And now she's a part of seatbelt game. So it honestly mean like you're honestly don't come on our island when it comes to defense. Like, when we're in front of you, just know you're gonna have to make a tough bucket. Honestly, so.
I'm going to move up to the front.
Hey y'all, Misha Jones with Rising Media Stars. And so you obviously got Don Staley, one of the best guards to ever play the game, but you also have Jolette Law on the staff, your assistant coach, who is an amazing guard in her own right. Both of y'all play the guard position. Both of y'all have to, carry that mantle for this squad. So what does she bring to each of you individually, and how has she helped you grow as basketball players?
Honestly, in every practice, when she don't hear my voice, she screams at me. I be like, all right, like that's enough, honestly. So I feel like her energy every day, it helps us a lot, and not even just on me not talking with the defense. And if I take a play off on defense, like she's always constantly in my ear, like you cannot take a possession off. So you need a coach like that, honestly. And I know that she played with the Harlem, what do you call them? Yeah, I was like, oh, okay. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she's a great coach. You hear her constantly through practice, reminding us that we got to talk, and she's done a really good job with that. And just her passing ability, I'm so amazed by it. And she, gives me pointers about it because I can be a better passer, But she's just been able to, pour into me, pour into not only as a basketball player, but as a woman as well. And, it's really nice to have a coach like that in your corner.
We'll take our last question for student athletes right here, second row.
Hi, Carolyn Bryan, Women's Sports Weekly podcast. Coach Staley has talked about quite a bit how you react to change really well and implement that change. Can you both talk a little bit about in your personal games how you have taken some changes and implemented it?
Okay. I feel like in Sweet 16, Elite 8, we had to fight for some wins. They weren't easy. It wasn't cute. It wasn't pretty. So I feel like, we just had to dig in deeper and come out with a W. So honestly, just being together and staying connected.
I agree.
I want to thank you both for your time today, and best of luck tomorrow. At
Thank
this
you.
time, the mixed zone is now open, locker room is now open, and we will also fill questions from Coach. We'll start in the back and then work our way up. In the orange, on the left-hand side. On the other side, he actually has a microphone for you, right there.
Craig Way, Longhorn Radio Network. Coach, I heard your players talk about the heart and determination and things of that nature when you play somebody for a fourth time. Does much change for you and for your staff in terms of how you prepare them based on a game in Greenville 3 weeks ago or the game in Austin, the game in Columbia? Is it an amalgam in terms of what you have to do in terms of preparing? Do you see that much difference from those 3 games?
Not much different, besides you probably have to put a little bit more emphasis on being able to stay organized when they take your first and your second option away. And, most of the time is what you call broken plays. So we can stay more organized in broken plays because they do a really good job of making you go a little bit deeper into your offense. So you got to make sure that you know what we're doing and it's not just, happenstance or chaotic. So it's more about that. But, we're not going to stray too far left or right from the things that we've done that were positive, that would help us. And then we, knock on wood, we can identify the things that when we did get beat in Texas, what those things were that put us in a bad position.
I'll stay to our left.
All right, Matt Baker with The Athletic. NIL has obviously changed a lot in college sports, and there's a new era coming, we presume, with revenue sharing soon. How do you expect the revenue sharing to kind of impact the types of programs that are capable of contending for Final Fours and championships?
Well, I think you're going to need more. I mean, if you look at the rev share and how much women's basketball programs will get, it seems like more than what you normally have to work with. But when you compare it to some of the numbers that are being thrown at that some of these our young people, I don't know how they can operate in that space with rev share. I know there are, I know with us we have money that we've raised from donors in the NIL space that we're going to have to utilize all up before rev share takes place next week. So we have that to fill our roster and to go into the portal if there's somebody in there that we need to get. But that pool of money is more than what we probably get in rev share. So how do we give a figure out like today, and then the rev share is this next year, and that doesn't add up. That just doesn't add up. So it's just that it's always going to be something. But we have done something creative. Like I think Texas, us, Duke, and UCLA are all going to play in the Players Era tournament next year. It's things like that that will help in the NIL space, because NIL and rev share are 2 different things. They don't really work hand in hand. So it's a lot that you have to work, through, and you do need somebody on staff, which is more money, to keep all the chaos organized, especially during a time like this. Like we're in the Final Four, we are. I'm talking to parents, I'm talking to people in the transfer portal, I'm talking to agents, I'm talking to, it's a lot, but if you're not someone that can easily pivot, this thing will swallow you up. We're fortunate that we've been working in chaos for a long time, that it just feels normal.
Coach, we're going to shift to our left.
Dawn, you've had Breezy for 4 years, and the past 2 years she's been a starter and usually guarding the opponent's best player. What do you think of her defense? How's it improved since you've seen her, and do you think she's maybe underrated as a defender?
She's definitely underrated as a defender. And I think our game sometimes looks at stats. I mean, she's not one that's going to steal the ball. She's one that's going to get your top scorer shooting at an inefficient clip, and that's her claim to fame. I think over the years she's got more confident, like she's got more intrigued with how to shut people down. Okay, if she does this, she's asking a lot of questions about, defense and positioning and what she should do in these situations, and she's really locked in when it comes to that side because she knows that she's got to do her part, and her part is a big part that we rely on to get wins, and that's not scoring a whole lot of points. It's actually preventing our opponents from scoring a lot of points, and she does it. She's in my top 5 in my 25 years of coaching.
Coach, we're going to shift to our right. We're going to go Sean, then Doug.
Sean Hurd, Anscape. Don, you've emphasized that trust is kind of the baseline in terms of your ability to develop your players. I'm just curious, what are the biggest keys to sustaining that trust or growing that trust over a player's time at SC, despite all the distractions and pressures that come with today's game?
I mean, you have to condition young people to handle like real communication, because if it just happens once, they're not going to get it, and if it happens once and then a month later, they really aren't really connecting the two. So you have to address everything that's happening in front of them in real time, and then they'll get used to it. They may not like what you're saying. They might like what you're saying at times, and that's what builds trust. Like it's not, it's not, oh, I'm the head coach, you'll listen to me and don't, do what I mean, that's old parenting, right? It's the new age parenting that's out here that kids have a say. They want to be listened to. They have something to offer you, and that is how they think and how they feel and how they want to move and how they want to operate. And if it's within what we want to do as a program, carry on. But if it isn't, let's sit down. Let's talk about some stuff, right? And it is just that. It's over and over and over again to where you condition them to listen, and you condition them to have input, and that builds trust. Communication builds trust. They're not in a place where we just leave them and say, hey, this is what I want you to do, and that's it. And then what they're gonna do? They're gonna go back to where they are. They're gonna think about it. She doesn't think I'm this good. I can't do this. Hey, mom, this is what she said to me. Hey, friend, this is what she said to me. Now I got like 3 people that's talking about the opposite of what I'm saying. I need the majority. I need the majority saying we're all saying the right things to the principal. Our players are the principal, and that's how you build it. You build it with every person that has our players' ears, because it's a lot of them. It's a lot of people that they talk to and they listen to, and we want to make sure that we have the biggest voices, in our players' heads.
We're going to go to Doug. We'll go back to Michael, and then we'll come back up front.
Hey, Don, Doug Feinberg, the AP.
Oh, got you, Doug.
In the past, you've been very vocal about things that make the game better. Getting units this year obviously is a step in the right direction, other things that they've fixed. Where do you think the health of the women's basketball game is right now, with ratings being pretty strong this year, coming off of last year's monster numbers? What would you like to see now the next step be for women's basketball as one who has a very loud and very strong voice in the game? What would you like to see sort of get better going forward?
Well, I would like since we're in this rev share space, our rev share, our ability to bring in more revenue is increasing. Okay, so women's basketball has been held at a certain place. Now that rev share is a part of it, we're not considered a revenue producing sport prior to us, being in demand. But we're becoming a revenue producing sport. Not there yet, but the rev share dollars won't allow us more because it's based off of what happened like prior to the decision on Tuesday, I think. Like, so I would like to see us grow a little bit more in that. I mean, money talks. And the more money that we can produce, the more that we can ask for more. But we've been held down. Like, we've been held down for decades to now, now we're in a good place. I think we need to go back to the table and talk about some things. And from a rev share, I think we need to continue to increase the units. I do think women's basketball needs its own television deal. I do think we need our own deal. And then we really will find where we are in our worth.
We're going to go to the back. Michael, if you could raise your hand.
Coach Staley, you played against Vic's teams, both Mississippi State and Texas, I think 5 times for the SEC tournament title. And then in the 2017 national championship, you won all those. Are there certain things you guys have been able to do well against his style of play, and how might that help in terms of going against them again tomorrow?
I mean, we're both defensive minded. So it's probably we've had a bigger offensive spurt throughout those games that we've played that were at a higher stake. And I do think it's going to take that. I mean, we're not going to rely on our success against them to say, hey, we beat them. No, I'm looking at the loss, from this year and how we can prevent that. One, we got to stay out of foul trouble and not have to adjust to. I think the times that they beat us, it was foul trouble for us, like early foul trouble where we had to change up how we just substitute, and that throws our cadence off. So I think it's just about our bigger offensive runs at any given time within the game.
We're going to come to the front, go Annie. We're going to go across to the gentleman in the black, and we'll go from there.
Dawn, Annie Costable from Front Office Sports. Sorry, I almost just said my previous employment.
Front Office Sports. I got a sweatshirt from y'all.
You talked about the transfer portal just being open during the tournament, and you're fielding calls. You're doing a lot. You're also playing in a game. Do you anticipate having to hire someone to play GM? Is that a role that you think will become commonplace?
Yes, it will. It's necessary. I don't know if we'll call it GM, but it will be some of the duties of a GM. So yes, I think it's a lot of money in the space. It's a lot of moving parts that we need somebody singularly focused on that movement and ways in which we need to navigate in that space. So, if we're here at a Final Four, the GM can be taking care of some of the stuff that we have to take on now. I think it's cool, though. I like the fact that it's new and different, and if you can get pretty creative and organized in the space, you can, even amongst this chaos, you can really use it to help your program.
Do you appreciate the juggle, coaching and taking?
Yeah, I got ADD, so it stimulates me. It stimulates my ADD.
We're going to go to our left, take our final question.
Dawn, Roger Wallace from NBC in Austin. What do you see in Madison Booker's game? What do you like about it, and what problems does she cause?
Just a bona fide scorer. Not even a bona fide scorer. She's a playmaker. Like, she can score the basketball with the best of them. She can play multiple positions, so she's versatile. She can facilitate. She's a really great rebounder. She's a difficult matchup. Like, you really have to, you have to play her 1.5 players. Like, you can't just straight up play her because she has so much of a skill set that if you don't show whoever's guarding her and then show, close her space off, I mean, because she's able to rise above. She's a big guard that could pretty much get her shot off at any given time. And then you got to make her play defense. She's a willing defender, but with how much she needs to score for them, you got to make her play on that other side of the basketball so that pretty jump shot isn't as pretty in minute, 30 as it is in minute 5.
Coach, I want to thank you for your time today. Best of luck tomorrow.
Thank you. Good to see you.
As well.